when you stop getting the accolades. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee Talk. I am your host, Roxanne Marbs. And if you haven't done so, please click that like and follow button so you never miss another episode ever again. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. Top of the morning to you. We have a member that says that, and I quite enjoy that saying. Good morning. All right, gotta find here. Quite an interesting phenomenon that happened yesterday. Julie, good morning. No Facebook, no Instagram, no WhatsApp. I don't WhatsApp, so I don't even know if I'm saying it right. WhatsApp? WhatsApp? Julie, I love it. So I thought it was, because our business is based on Facebook, of course, that's a little bit scary. But what an interesting, how many hours was it? I think it was like 6 hours of no social media. It got my mind really going. Can you imagine if it had crashed and that was just the end? Like that was the end, like it was a domino effect. Like there was no more Facebook, no more Instagram. Like all of a sudden there was no more Twitter, no more YouTube. Can you imagine the world that we would live in? Can you imagine the world our children would live in? It's kind of an interesting thought.
It'd kind of be like when we were growing up.
Yes, it would be.
You had to actually read a book.
Yes. And funny, I was thinking about that moment in The Wizard of Oz where the witch goes, "What a world! What a world!" Good morning. We've got Jenny and Karen and Sarah. Kimberly, good morning. Julie, I didn't even know it happened. Well, it's funny. I'm like, because 90% of what we do is based on Facebook. So, there's certain times in the day when I go to get in there, like and comment on everybody else's comments. And I'm like, son, my phone's not working. My computer's not working. I can't get on Facebook. Texted my girlfriend, is your Facebook working? And she's like, nope, it's been down for a little while. So it was an interesting day. Michelle, happy Taco Tuesday. Yes, taco pie is on the menu for supper tonight. Normally we do have the tacos, but myself, forgot to buy enough meat for taco meat. Lisa, good morning. Lynn, good morning. Dobek, good morning. Happy Tuesday, coffee peeps. Molly, good morning. So I don't know. It was kind of a nice moment yesterday. Although I did kept getting back on to check and see if it had come back on so that I could catch up on everything. But I don't know. I didn't mind it. Now, I'm probably going to get zapped by Zuckerberg for saying that. I also had a theory in the moment. What if somebody at YouTube broke into Facebook and like jumbled it all up, and then everybody went to YouTube and crashed Facebook? Anybody ever hear of conspiracy theories? That's what that one is. Kylie, good morning. Carrie, good morning. Kim, good morning. All right, my friends, the show must go on. I'm so happy that it actually does get to go on. So today's video, the title was, what happens when you stop getting the accolades? Tammy, good morning. You start on this journey and the transformation starts to happen, right? And everybody that hasn't seen you in a little while starts, oh my gosh, you look so good. You look amazing. What are you doing? All the compliments, all the congratulations, all the questions start coming in, right? And it feels so good. I believe there's a little bit of a high, a little bit of a euphoria when we start that transformation and people really start to notice. Like that is such a feel good moment. Hey, yo, Hootsack. It feels good. We feel so good. We all of a sudden have this confidence that went before we started the transformation that we didn't have, and then we keep going with our transformation and the changes aren't so powerful. They're not so drastic. They're not so visual to the human eye. What happens? Well, the accolades kind of slow down a little bit. And it's kind of a mental game. As Coach Chuck said, it's like this balloon full of air And it starts to slowly deflate, right? Like all of those compliments blew that balloon up, right? It's huge. And slowly that balloon starts to lose air because we no longer are getting the accolades that we first got in the beginning of our journey. Debbie, good morning. Monica, good morning. Now, some of this comes not because you still don't have transformation. Some of it comes because the people we see are just the people we see. So they're not going to constantly repeat it. Some of it's happening because the people that are seeing you aren't ready for change. I can't believe you put that shirt on. You're still sweating.
I'm here. No, I'm not sweating anymore, but
I'm still sweating.
I'm too lazy to go upstairs and get a different t-shirt.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I'm just getting us ready for the season. This is actually a pumpkin. It's a white pumpkin. It's an albino pumpkin.
It's a snowman pumpkin.
It's an albino pumpkin with...
It's a snowman pumpkin.
Okay, it's a snowman pumpkin, whatever that means.
It's not a pumpkin. It's a snowman.
It's a snowman. You guys know this is when I'm in a rush. This is what I wear. All right.
All right. So
my wife's cozy shirt.
It's my shirt. All right. So when this all starts to slow down, you really have to take a deeper look at your journey. Who is by your side? Who is in your inner circle?
That's right. Olaf is making an appearance today. Yeah.
How often does that shirt get washed? Every time he wears it.
Maybe.
No.
Oh, okay.
I
don't wash it. She does.
I wash it every time he wears it.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of really powerful messages here because we've seen it. People have talked about it, right? It's like the energy kind of, like she said, the energy starts to kind of get sucked out. Like you start feeling deflated for a couple different reasons. I mean, and I know she's already kind of talked about this, but just to reiterate, the message today really is not necessarily about my hard work equals an accolade or a compliment. It really has a lot to do with who you surround yourself with, right?
Yep.
Who you surround yourself with and how you are interpreting results, right? So like being able to take a compliment is one whole different conversation. Like you're going to get compliments based off of, right, like your energy, your mood, physical changes and things like this. This is very common, right? But there's going to be a point where, like she said, it kind of starts to die off. And a lot of that's going to be with people from the outside looking in. So it's very natural. Like people you work with, people you go to church with, just friends, whatever, distant relatives, or just people you don't see very often. They're from the outside looking in. They may or may not know what you're doing. They might know. They might not even care, right? And so from the outside looking in, they're like, wow, I had no idea. But what's more important is two things. One, how you view your own journey from the inside out. This is where we need to work on ourselves, right? And tracking our wins and making sure that we're solid inside. And like Coach said, the people we closely surround ourselves with. Who are you walking side by side in the trenches with on your journey? Maybe it's maybe or maybe not, it's your spouse. If it is, that's fantastic. If it's not, maybe at some point, but letting them know what you do or what you're doing is incredibly important, right? But the people that are working out alongside of you, whether it's virtual or not, right? The people that are inside of your community that can share in these NSVs with you.
Like your coaches.
Right.
Your coaches, your community, your spouse. You know, I know that a lot of you who are BBF members, when you felt on fire, you were posting in the group. You were posting your big honking water jugs. And you were posting that you could do push-ups on your toes. Or you were posting the first time you got a burpee on the floor. Are you still doing that? Are you still using your community to celebrate your wins? You need to never stop that. Your wins are just as important today as they were 6 months ago or a year ago. Use this community. They're here for the support. They're here to cheer you on. And everybody is inspired. Everybody in our groups are inspired by somebody else's NSV because something you're doing is going to give somebody hope that they will get there someday. It's so important to share that with our community.
Well, and this is another point. This is why recording and tracking your journey is incredibly important. That's why we advocate for it. Because if you don't, like it says, what isn't measured can't be managed. But in another way too, when we talk about the NSVs, right? It's like how many smoothies, like if you weren't doing any smoothies and now whether you're doing them 3 times a week, 4 times a week, every single day, you went from 0 to what? 0 to 25, 28, 30. Like these are big wins. So these are things you can celebrate so that you know and understand that even if the compliments, right, aren't coming, which shouldn't really make a difference, but I know to a lot of it does. It feels good to get a compliment, right? But again, in the beginning, a lot of them are going to probably happen more often. But tracking things so you can see, so you know, like what are the important things in your journey that you're doing every single day, every single week, and every single month, right? That pushes you forward to being the healthiest version of yourself. Truly, so you know on the inside, I am showing up as the healthiest version of myself. And a bonus side effect of showing up as the healthiest version of myself is I physically transform from the outside in, meaning I lose body fat, right? I build muscle, I'm leaning out, right? And I may possibly get a couple compliments along the way because people are going to notice. They notice the physical changes a lot faster than they're going to ever notice or ever know that you had 20 smoothies last month, that you went out and got your steps every day.
That you sleep better.
That you're getting good sleep.
Your HRA scores are better. These are huge wins. Some of those wins are bigger than any physical transformation win you're ever going to have, but nobody gets to see those.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because like we live in a society where it's keeping up with the Joneses, right? Like when it comes to the toys and your house, your cars, your toys, the clothes you wear, what you spend money on, the clubs you belong to, and all this crazy stuff, right? It's like keeping up with the Joneses is such a social status thing, but like we almost have to keep up with the fitness Joneses now, right? It's like,
yes.
It's like keeping up with well, I ran a mile. Well, I ran 2 miles. Well, I ran 3 miles. Well, I ran it in 10 minutes. Well, I ran it in 9 minutes. Well, I ran it in 8 minutes. Well, I can do 10 push-ups on my toes. Well, I can do 11. You know, it's like people start getting in this crazy like one-up or feeling like they need to do more. Like it's this feeling of having to do more, to prove our worthiness. And I know that Roxanne has done a lot of videos and chats on, worthiness, right? And it's interesting to think that, when the accolades stop, all of a sudden our worthiness, like that worthiness balloon goes, right? But that's because it was filled with air from the outside, not with your own personal, right? If you fill it up with your own personal, it will stay full all the time. But when it's from the outside air, all of a sudden it's like.
So you need to make sure that you are constantly filling that balloon. Look in the mirror and tell yourself how awesome you're doing. When you drink that smoothie, tell yourself, say out loud. Who cares if the kids are in there? I'm doing another smoothie today, guys. Like, get excited. Like, start the day. Heck yes, I'm getting up and I'm doing my workout. Another workout. Another check on my board of workouts. Like, recognize all of it, not just the physical.
Yeah, Marissa, you nailed it. Here's a little interesting thing. We've talked about it before, right? You know me and my sheet of paper, right? Sheet of paper. Now, this is a different one. Draw a line down the middle. Now, if I gave you, this isn't interesting, just kind of bear with me here. I believe this is true. If I gave you, okay, we're going to put a 2-minute timer on, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes. And on the right side of this paper, it's going to be all the things that I'm frustrated with, I don't like about myself, whatever. You give you 2 minutes to write them down. All right? Now, and we're going to hit stop, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I'm going to say, I want you to write everything down that you're proud of, that you're excited about, things that you're winning at, and we're going to put that in the left column. And it's just human nature that the right-hand column, all the things we're frustrated with, that we're annoyed with, that we're stuck and overwhelmed about, that we're bummed about, like that right side will fill up incredibly fast. And the left side, because we're just kind of human nature, aren't programmed to look and celebrate for the wins because we're so hard on ourselves. But that's the side that we need to focus on, right? We need to fill up that left column. We need to fill up our win column. And I do believe that a lot of it does come from associating worthiness, right? Worthiness with these things. Like we'll put a post up in the group, it'll be like, celebrate your weekly wins. And like 5 people will post on it, which I think is crazy because there's 300 people in there and 5 people because they don't believe they had a win worthy of celebrating. 7 straight days, and there's not one thing that you can't find to celebrate. I disagree. We just have to look a little bit further. They're there. They happen every single day, right? If I asked you every single day for 7 days, right, what's one thing that I did today, successfully did today, what's one win I had today, and what's one thing I can improve? But you're not allowed to write the one thing that I improve until you write your win. That would be a challenge, but that would be a great kind of gratitude challenge for you to do every single day before you lay your head down on the pillow.
I think that's something we should do right now. I think that you should put in the comment box what was one win you had from this weekend. What was one win that each of you had from this weekend. I don't care if it's been the same win for the past 6 months on the weekends. What was one win that you had this weekend?
Yeah, right? So like an accolade. This is a self-accolade. When you do this, so what's one thing you would do to give yourself a pat on the back right now, right? Because we feel like we need, again, we relieve ourselves of keeping up with the fitness Joneses. All right, so we had a crazy weekend. We went out across the state. We were gone for most of the weekend, Friday night, all day Saturday, half a day Sunday, right? We traveled. We decided that we were going to eat out with our son and his girlfriend, and we were just kind of go by the flow, right? But one of the things we did, we traveled with our vitamins. On Saturday, we went hiking and we got our steps in. Yep. So those were two like huge, massive wins for us.
On Friday, our travel day, we still got all of our water in.
We traveled with our water. Yep.
Saturday, I believe we still got the majority of our water in. And even Sunday, I believe we did. Hydration, I mean, that was an awesome win. The fact that we were in the car for 4 hours, now we stopped every hour at a gas station. But we still got all our water in. All right, Marissa said she made good food choices this past weekend. I love that. Kylie, I stuck to the sugar detox. And yes. Michelle, good morning. Hutek, I got 19,000 steps one of the days. That is fantastic. Lynn, I got all my sips in. Yes, Lisa, preparing a variety of foods. Lots of veggies too. I love that. Lisa, stuck with my plan. Jean, I went to my bungee class even though I was going to be the only one other than the instructor. I love that.
Cool.
I love that. Celebrate the wins.
Here is a win for me. Usually when we travel, I'm a big snacker, like massive snacker, and I'll use it as an excuse to stop at the gas stations to pick up, whatever, like Chex Mix or something like that. We had multiple bathroom stops because we were drinking lots of water. Did not get any. We stopped at one gas station and I got a sandwich, which we said was going to be part of the plan. We got a healthy sandwich.
And we shared it.
Shared the sandwich. We had an apple with that, cheese stick. So that was really good. I feel like that was a huge, massive win for us.
Shelly, I worked 12 hours each day, but got all my water in, good food choices overall, and lots of steps. I love that, Carrie. Meal prepped for the week ahead. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So as you guys are typing those in, we'll stay on here for a couple more minutes. But again, these are the accolades, right? Self accolades, pats on the back, my friend. I get it. A compliment is amazing. Like getting compliments is awesome, right? But again, when you've been suffering and you make a change and you start transforming, and all of a sudden people are like, you look so good, and you look again more, you have more energy, and you're losing weight and all this stuff. It's exciting. It's super exciting. But eventually, if we become dependent upon those, right, we lose our sense of self. Right? We lose our sense of worthiness because we're putting that in the hands of other people, right? So it's a matter of take the compliments when they come, but make sure all of these examples that all of you guys just put up there, these are the things that we must never, ever stop tracking and stop celebrating. There's always a win to be had. And yes, there's always an area to improve, but make sure you lock down that win.
Yep.
Lock down that win before you go to bed, right? Celebrate. Even on the craziest day, there is still something to give yourself a pat on the back. And that is incredibly important. Why? Because this is how momentum is sustained. And when you start seeing your wins, the best time to double down, right? When you start winning, don't take your foot off the gas.
Nope.
Any team, if you follow any sports team out there, when they start winning, I hope they don't take their foot off the gas. They start doubling down. Because you want to win a championship, my friend. This is the championship of life and a healthy lifestyle. But double down. All
right, Chris, 10,000 steps on Sunday and never left the house. Busy. I love that. All right, my friends, that's where we're going to end this. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. No new nugget today. So this is why you get us both and Olaf.
I am really hot in this thing.
Yeah, I could just feel the sweat pouring off.
This is a bad choice. I need to have extra shirts down here.
All right, my friends, if you like this episode, please share it up. And don't forget, make it your mission to make somebody else smile today. All right, we love you all. Go out and have a fantastic day.
Bye.